next. Dummy walk like I'm Sasquatch. Oh my gosh, she gon' do me bad. Michael Jackson. Got her side.
I don't like the way society's run.
Okay, well, let's...
Cop out, everybody's plastic.
Alright, and alright, talk about that.
No surprise when they try us.
All right. Oh yeah, enough comic stuff. Let's rip a little content here. What do we got? What we got? I didn't even bother saving breaking points because I've just seen a few of them, so I thought I'd click on the channel. What is this? Oh, okay. I mean, this would give me an opportunity to talk about Batman. Breaking point.
All right, Saga, what are you looking at?
Well, if you're too online, you're already familiar with what.
Okay, Saggy, what's on your jetty? Market rate up. Okay. Elon Musk replied to me. Yo, he's so happy about that. Wait, why? They made 2 videos about it, bro. That was the best day of his life. I'm happy for him, man. I'm happy for you, Saggy. Elon Musk replied to me, or Elon. Oh, maybe this is different. Maybe this was just him. Okay. Yeah, let's watch.
All right,
this.
Saga, what are you
It's
looking
funny.
at?
Well, okay, let me say this at the outset. I never set to cause chaos. On Tuesday evening, I was minding my own business. I went to the gym. I sat down at my computer.
Saga wears veneers, right? Those have got to be veneers. No way this man's teeth are that straight and like out there.
Catch up on the news. I noticed a funny story. Vijaya Gadde, the head of Twitter's policy team, the chief censor at the company, who famously sat on the Joe Rogan podcast, Gaslit the World, on their policies when she was pressed by Tim Pool, reportedly broke down crying in a meeting after Musk bought the company. Here's a tweet. Basically, what I said. My editorial was that she was, quote, very upset about the Elon Musk takeover and noted that she was the one responsible for censoring the Hunter Biden laptop story. Was it mean-spirited? Kinda. But I have no sympathy for the people at the top of the censorship regime, and I admit some serious schadenfreude was going on. So I sent it, and I moved on. Until my phone buzzed, and since then has basically not stopped buzzing. I checked it, and turned out that Elon Musk himself had replied to that tweet with, quote, suspending the Twitter account of a major news organization for publishing a truthful story was obviously inappropriate. Now, look, obviously, I never expected Elon to reply, and I agree with the sentiment. I thought it was a good thing to see the new owner of Twitter respond on a matter where Twitter so obviously, flagrantly titled its censorship regime on the part of a single candidate in the race. Honestly, I didn't see how anyone could really disagree with what he said. But was I wrong? The blue tech technology press got very upset, not just with me, but with Elon, and reverted to their favorite accusation, that Elon and I were apparently racist and sexist for targeting Vijaya Gadde. The San Francisco correspondent for the Financial Times, Dave Lee, immediately said, moments after Elon Musk publicly criticized the work of Twitter policy exec Vijaya, her Twitter mentions are full of hateful tweets. Is this how he plans to run the company? It was retweeted thousands of times. Oh God, not hateful tweets. Oh no. So Elon is responsible for what random people say because he and I highlight that she was part of one of the most shameful events in the company's history and behind one of the top reasons Elon bought the company.
Yeah. What do I think about this? I guess it's hard for me to sift through the ambivalence I feel towards anyone involved in this. Like, I don't feel strongly to protect Vagina. I mean, she can handle herself, you know, she put herself out there. She didn't have to take that job where she gets, I'm sure, very well compensated. And I don't fully agree with a lot of her policies. I think transparency is important, and she was more of the like, no, we can, we know best. Fuck you, and I don't really like that. I do, yeah. I think she's not great. I don't think she probably deserves hate, but it's the internet, and she's out there just because Elon and Sagar chose to mention her, and kind of bring her name up, and obviously put a lot of eyes on her name, and thus the more eyes on her, the more of those eyes are going to want to also like send her a mean tweet. But they didn't actually like, I disagree with what they said. I do think that well, yeah, see, that's where it gets a little weird. I think there was obviously a lot of disingenuousness when it came to the Hunter Biden laptop. I mean, that was as clear of like a fucking Russian op as anything ever has been. I mean, I'm not someone who's going to jump to that every time, but this one was just so textbook, bro. Like, so fucking textbook. Like, oh, Hunter just happened to fucking drop his laptop off at the one shop that had like a QAnoner running it, and just kind of left it there, even though it had a ton of fucking sensitive information during a year where his dad is running for president. Like, I don't buy it for a second. It's obviously, it was dropped off, it was planted there. They've had this guy on lock for a while. This laptop repairman. They gave him a dummy laptop that probably had real information, but it was obviously information that was hacked out of Hunter. He didn't just leave it at a fucking computer repair shop. So do I think that it should be like censored on Twitter, that story? Probably not. I think it's more important. Again, I'm usually on the side of you should push back to an extent. I don't mind some platform cleaning up, because again, it does become a thing of like, do you have to redebate certain things every time? Like, do you have to redebate that trans people are valid on Twitter 24/7? I don't think you should have to. If people are going to be transphobic and you don't support that on your platform, and you want this to be a safe platform for trans people, then people who are going to be all fucking transphobic all the time, like, it's not about the debate anymore. The debate's been had. Anybody who actually is not just a fucking hateful bigot understands that it's somewhat complicated, and it's very counterculture, so it's going to take some getting used to, but they are valid people who have been oppressed for a long time, and they don't deserve unique hate for their immutable characteristic. But yeah, when a news story breaks that is, whether it's like Russian propaganda or not, like, I do think that should be out there, because again, suppressing like a random news story does kind of just make you look bad. I would even go as far to say that it's maybe inappropriate. I might have to agree with Elon Musk. God love me, but
company in the first place. Tech press dean Kara Swisher jumped in, saying it was appalling to see Vijaya attacked. She begged Jack Dorsey to come to her defense, decrying, quote, racist rants against her on Twitter. So, let's say it. Racist tweets against Vijaya are obviously bad. But this is a Taylor Lorenz tried and true tactic. You are not allowed to criticize people, even if they are in immense positions of power, because people might be mean to them. Now, noticeably, of course, they're allowed to be mean to you, and when people are mean to you as a result of their criticism, then anything that you have to say is totally illegitimate.
Who's you in this situation? Am I you? Am I not allowed to? Wait.
How about this? Let's be mean to each other. If there's fallout, so be it. Furthermore, this fits a pattern. If this were a normal Twitter employee making like $100 grand, a 27-year-old program or something, that's a fair enough response. But this woman was literally in charge of the most censorious action in Twitter history, from Hunter Biden laptops to making the call to take Trump off the platform. Furthermore, as you see before you, she received a 130% raise last year, bringing her total compensation to $16.9 million, up from the $8 million she was paid in 2020. I got no sympathy for somebody who is a public figure and a multimillionaire, getting criticized for purely policy reasons. The fallout continued, though. The press really just would not let it go. Will Ormius, he's the technology reporter at the Washington Post, was extraordinarily upset, saying Elon had now publicly agreed with and amplified criticisms from the extraordinarily upset, saying Elon had now publicly.
Twitter lawyer Jim. I was trying to remember who Cernovich was, so I didn't even read this. Twitter lawyer Jim Baker, when general counsel of FBI personally arranged a meeting between FBI and Michael Sussman. In this meeting, Sussman presented fabricated evidence in the Alpha Bank matter. What, dude? What? This is a deep rabbit hole, huh? Russian bank.
Agreed with and amplified criticisms from the right of two Twitter employees. One, myself, who accused the top policy executive of censorship, and another, a company lawyer for facilitating fraud. Now, let's dissect that latter tweet. In the latter one, Mike Cernovich on Twitter highlighted that Twitter's...
I mean, Mike Cernovich is known fucking right-wing scumbag. I know the Breaking Points likes to dabble and dip their toes in the radical centrist group and maybe even a little far right leaning, but Cernovich is I thought a little outside their purview.
Lawyer Jim Baker, who was general counsel at the FBI, was one of the people who personally arranged a meeting between the FBI and Michael Sussman, who you might remember as a fabulous liar pushing Russiagate lies ahead of the 2016 election. Baker was later criminally investigated by the FBI for lying and was forced out for his role in Russiagate. All Elon replied was, quote, sounds pretty bad. Yeah, it is. A Russiagate liar working as a lawyer.
A lawyer at a large international firm met with the FBI general counsel at FBI headquarters in Washington, D.C. Sussman requested a meeting to provide general counsel with certain data files and white papers allegedly demonstrated a covert communications channel between the Trump organization and Russia-based bank. Sussman, who had previously presented the Democratic DNC, represented the DNC in connection with a cyber hack, falsely stated to the general counsel that he was not bringing these allegations to the FBI on behalf of any client. This false representation led the general counsel to understand that Sussman was providing information as a good citizen rather than as a paid advocate or political operative. In fact, Sussman assembled and conveyed the allegations to the FBI on behalf of at least two clients, including U.S. technology executive and the Clinton presidentials. Oh, okay. Wait, hold on. That means alleged beginning Sussman worked with aforementioned U.S. technology executive. They're not going to name him, really? Other cyber researchers and a U.S.-based investigative firm to assemble the data and white papers that Sussman ultimately provided to the FBI and the media. The technology executive, for his part, exploited his access to non-public data at multiple internet companies and enlisted the assistance of researchers at a U.S.-based university who were receiving and analyzing internet data in connection with a pending federal government cybersecurity research contract designed to identify the perpetrators of malicious cyber attacks and protect U.S. national security. This is too much, dude. What's going on? It even further alleges that researchers were tasked to mine internet data to establish an inference and narrative that would tie then presidential candidate Donald Trump to Russia, in which the executive believed would please certain VIPs. The indictment also alleges that Sussman, his law firm, and the technology executive corporate representatives and agents of the Clinton campaign in these efforts. But hold on, all this fucking spy movie national treasure shit aside, is he being indicted because he lied? Because this is important here. Is he being indicted because he lied about who he worked for, or because the evidence he provided was false? Because that's a big fucking difference. That's the difference between Batman is a criminal because he hurts innocent people, and Batman is a criminal because he's a vigilante and that's illegal. That is kind of the difference here, right? It's if what he was presenting was accurate, and Trump does have this back channel with a Russian bank, and who knows what else that could have included. that seems like some pretty important information. Now, if they went about getting that information in a illicit way, that's a problem. But it's less of a problem. Like, it is less of a problem than the problem itself. And they are certainly, Saagar right now is certainly implying that he's a Russiagate liar because he presented false evidence. But so far, hold on. Okay, hold on. It is further, I should have read the next paragraph. It is further alleged that Sussman's false statements misled FBI personnel and deprived the FBI of information that might have permitted it more fully to assess and uncover the origins of the relevant data and analysis, including the identities and motivations of Sussman's clients. What? The FBI ultimately determined that there was insufficient evidence to support the allegations of a secret communication channel between the Trump organization and a Russian-based bank. Okay, so this part doesn't really make sense. Misled FBI and deprived the FBI of information. FBI ultimately determined that there was insufficient evidence to support the allegations. I mean, so two things. It does sound like, to answer my initial question, it does sound like they also don't think the information was relevant. But they didn't say he lied about they said it's insufficient to support, which is, those are different barriers, right? I mean, it didn't say, it could say the FBI ultimately determined that all the evidence was falsified, and that would be a whole nother level of crime, right? Like, not only are you lying about who you work for, but you're also actually trying to mislead, give a red herring to a law enforcement official. But it does sound like there was evidence, just insufficient evidence, and none of that evidence was wrong. Not to mention the FBI is a bunch of fucking Republicans, obviously, so we'll see about that. Huh. What was the I had a second thing to say too. Oh yeah. The other thing is, like, they're trying to besmirch this dude's character, and I don't know who he is. He's probably a scumbag. He's a lawyer. Yeah, lawyers suck. They're all scumbags. But he is just kind of doing his job. You know what I mean? Like, Hillary Clinton herself isn't gonna go walk into the FBI and drop a fucking manila folder on the desk and be like, we got him. Like, obviously these things are delivered and officiated by lawyers, and he's a lawyer, so he's doing his job, and now he works at Twitter. It's like, I guess he is the one being indicted. He did lie, so he had to take that, but that's kind of what lawyers do sometimes, is like shield their clients, if their clients pay enough, obviously. If you're working for a political entity, whether sanctioned or not, and you're trying to run an op like this, let's say it was all fake information that you were trying to deliver to the FBI. Again, it's like, you're gonna send a lawyer to deliver it. That's what you do. So, oh no, leaked audio. I just got a notification. Hold on. Shit. Oh, where is it? 19 seconds ago.
It's not like the loss of those power is quarters right now. Let's take a listen.
Elon made it clear in public that a large part of the reason he bought the platform was because of our moderation policies and disagreements in how we deal with health. This puts Twitter service and trust and safety, as well as anybody who cares about health on the platform, in a very difficult position.
I believe Twitter grows as a service. allows for more people to use the product and have a better experience because we're able to make the conversation on Twitter be safe, because we have built tools, processes for people to be able to feel safe and control their experiences. I believe that there is a lot of work we have to do to continue making that better. Sometimes that means more thoughtful moderation. Sometimes that means making things simpler.
Dude, the truth is, like, so a lot of fucking dumb chud fucking dildo brain Republican conservatoids would hear that and be like, oh, look at this softy soy boy thinking, oh, you need to make everything safe. It's like, no, dude, this guy is probably a fucking beyond, his genius is probably beyond your comprehension in terms of like numbers and shit. And he is looking at the data. This is a dude who got to where he is because he understands the data economy. That's what we are in right now. Everything is about data-driven decisions. That's what he's doing 100%. I guarantee you that he has seen the data that these fucking Nazi bitch-ass right-wing trolls who love to come in and like just bombard a platform and say they're, you know, using free speech. All they do is shut down free speech and people will flee the platform. That's what was happening when they started these moderation tools. So the internet was blowing up, Twitter was blowing up, and it was the Wild West for a while. And a lot of people thought that was kind of fun, yeah. But the truth is, like, a majority of people got sick of it real quick and did not like having 100 fucking dick pics and swastikas and fucking, you know, black people being lynched in their replies. All right, like, so they created moderation tools and they kicked all those people off the platform, and now those people made other accounts and are on the platform whining about it and liking Elon Musk tweets and retweeting him and saying, ha, take that, liberals. And if he does go ahead and bring it back to that like 2009 era, I don't even know if Twitter, it was maybe 2010 Twitter started, I can't even remember, but that, you know, those first couple years of Twitter, people are going to flee the platform, and then those trolls are going to have no one to troll except for each other, and then they're going to get bored of that too because they don't like it either, and they're all just fucking pathetic, probably not very not very wealthy people who are going to be like paying enough to uphold the platform. Like, he's going to fail because he's not making data-driven decisions like this guy is. Now, I'm you know, data has always got to be interpreted, and, you know, some of these bozos interpret data wrong, and that's what leads to some stupid ideas like fleets. But
sometimes
he's not saying it. My original point is that he's not saying any of this because, like, maybe he does on some level genuinely care. I don't know the guy, but like, he's not saying this because he genuinely cares, or like he's a soy boy who wants everything to be fucking childproofed and padded. He's looking at the data and he sees that solid moderation policies actually drive up traffic because the majority of people just want to feel safe on their online platform and not deal with harassment, not deal with bullying. And anybody who's going to go around doing that shit is going to get yeeted off because they don't bring enough positivity they don't bring enough benefit for all the harm that they cause.
That means changing product incentives to be able to solve problems through products sometimes instead of policies.
So the two people that you heard speaking.
Dude, freak cry over. Come on, dude. Is that all you got? You bitches. You fucking. Oh my God. You kidding me, dude? Oh my God. Exactly. Freaking cry over Musk takeover. Like, dude, they're just talking about it. Like, fucking Jesus Christ.
Lawyer at the company seems bad, especially when that company censored.
Hold on, I want to hear his exact wording about this because he really, to me, and maybe that's just I read. Maybe he did use his words carefully, but he was basically saying that this what's his name, Sussman? Yeah, Michael Sussman was lying about the evidence he provided when in fact he was just lying about, maybe he might have said something about that.
Of censorship, and another, a company lawyer for facilitating fraud. Now, let's dissect that latter tweet. Jim Baker, who was general counsel at the FBI, was one of the people who personally arranged a meeting between the FBI and Michael Sussman, who you might remember as a fabulous liar pushing Russiagate lies ahead of the 2016 election. Baker was later criminally investigated by the FBI for lying and was forced out for his role in Russiagate. All Elon replied was, quote, "Sounds pretty bad." Yeah, it is. A Russiagate liar working as a lawyer at the company seems bad.
Said pushing Russiagate lies. I mean, okay, you know, leave some leeway, I guess. It's a little
Especially when that
sussy.
company
I know what a lot of people will assume from it, obviously.
censored the Hunter Biden laptop story. Calling those things out doesn't even seem crazy. This is how the Washington Post phrased it. Imagine getting up and going to work in the morning for a company whose new owner is systematically attacking your colleagues, to his 84 million followers in public for a site you work for, and knowing you might be next. This is the worst case scenario, Twitter employee.
Is that a little dramatic? Of course. Yeah, of course it's a little dramatic, but at the same time, it's kind of true. I mean, let's say I woke up tomorrow, right, and Elon Musk, bought my real estate firm that I work for. And he's just dabbling in the real estate market in Boston. We got some nice properties. We got some profitable ones. So, could happen. And then I go and log on Twitter, and I have a million replies of people fucking torching me. It's like, yo, look at this idiot who records music, and he works in my firm. He thinks he's gonna have a music career. We're fucking idiot. Yeah, whatever. Like, just roasting me, right? And I just have 1,000 people telling me, my songs fucking suck, my stream shit. Like, yeah, that kind of sucked, dude. I mean, I could probably take it better than a lot of people. Like, I'd kind of laugh at it. It's kind of funny. Like, obviously, that would never really happen, but at the same time, I can understand. Like, I didn't sign up for that. I mean, I kind of did because I put myself out there like this. I kind of want Elon to come and roast me. Like, that shit would be one of the best days of my life. But normal people would not want that. I know for a fact that a lot of people I work with, if that happened to them, like I work with this, I won't say her name, but I work with this woman. She's kind of my boss now. I got promoted, but she kind of got promoted too. So that's why I'm not gonna name any names here. But I know she's like her hobby is like cooking. Like, she makes like pastries and shit like that. If she just started getting flamed because Elon was like, yo, this other employee makes some fucking shit cookies and she sucks. Like, she's a fucking pussy. Like, and just a million Elon incels just flood her. Well, she's probably not on Twitter, so it wouldn't matter for her, but whatever. My point being, I don't think, while that tweet is definitely being a little dramatic, and that's what people do. It's very like Reddit brained that, yo, I just saw, hold on, sorry, 80 fucking HD moment here. I just realized I got Calvin and Hobbes in the bottom here. I own this book. That's so fire. Shout out. But let's continue.
Yeah, good. They should be afraid. They've been running our public square with their censorious ideology.
Yeah. After everything I just said, like, that's like his response. That's his response to, if it did happen to my company, I just said all that, I'd be like, good, you should be afraid. You work at a real estate company, and guess what? You're like, fuck you. People live where you manage, and you did a shit job. Fuck you. Like,
for nearly a decade. The fusion of the censors with their lapdogs and defenders in the press are exactly how we got where we are today. It shows you just how dangerous the machine became. The press sets the tone for what is disinformation. The censors act on that. Then, if you attack the censors, the press attacks you. It's a fascinating and important lesson, how fused the entire system is. It's exactly why I have many, many reservations about Elon. And look, I don't think that putting your faith in any one person is a good thing. But his purchase of Twitter and making it known it will no longer be business as usual is unambiguously a net positive, at least right now. And watching these people freak out.
I miss getting to see what Wait, if I watch it on like Spotify or listen to it, do I get to hear the whole? Do I get to hear the responses?
That's something we should
This
celebrate.
is I gotta. I'm gonna have to cut to these more often because I always I need to get a feel for like as this show descends into just more and more right wing fucking nuttery. Like, how is Crystal balancing this? I mean, she's going the Jimmy Dore route. That's all it is, I guess. Like, it's pretty simple. But
let the tears flow. Let speech go unhindered because it's going to be a fun few years. And that's the thing, Crystal. The Russiagate one, we've beat.
And if you want to hear my reaction to Saagar's monologue, become a premium subscriber today at breakingpoints.com.
Oh, you bitch. Oh, you bitch. Fuck you. You'll never get my money. You fucking
Out, cry, kick and scream
that
because
sucks.
they lose power.
Is ripping us apart, dividing the country, making it impossible to function.
Okay.